All right, thanks everyone, and welcome to the second part of the minute poster presentations. And so I'll invite the first person up.
Hello, I'm Anjali, and I did this work as part of my Imana Fellowship. Association of food access with dietary intakes and nutritional markers has been less studied. So we got opportunity to study these aspects among the rural adolescents, which were studied as part of Pune Maternal Nutrition Study. Pune Maternal Nutrition Study is a longitudinal cohort study, and there are serial measurements. So we studied these associations at the 18-year follow-up, when there was data available on dietary intakes, which were measured using food frequency questionnaire, which recalled 150 food items. There were body size measurements available which were measured by trained staff, and body composition measured using DEXA, which is a so-called gold standard method. And there were nutritional markers, circulating markers available on vitamin B12 and hemoglobin. In addition, we explored the aspects of food environment. Food access has been...
Okay. The dual burden of malnutrition is increasingly an issue in places like Malawi. In this study, we used body silhouettes to assess normal weight and overweight mothers' perceptions of preferred and healthy body sizes for themselves and their children less than 5 years old. We then interviewed them about how their perceptions related to their food choices. Mothers preferred large body sizes and overwhelmingly thought that the largest body sizes were healthy. They explained that eating fatty foods, sweetened drinks, and meat can increase body size, but not all of the women could afford those types of foods. For more information, please come to poster number 27.
Hi, good morning, everyone, and thanks so much for having me. I have a really strong interest in maternal and child nutrition and food fortification. And the reason for this is that if you look at this mother and her child on the right-hand side, the odds are very high that both of them are anemic due to iron deficiency, especially if they are Indian, as there is a very high prevalence. So what we want to do is we want to look at how iron from the diet transitions from the mother to the child. And one of my colleagues yesterday, he had a poster presentation about the journey of milk. And I would like to take you on a journey of iron in breast milk. So please visit me at poster number 28. Thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. I'm going to talk about dietary transition in India over the last almost 20 years. So it's only in 2012. What I do in this paper with my colleagues is that I look at how diets have changed in India, and I only show you two maps over here, but we also do cluster analysis. So just on these two graphs, you can see the first on your right-hand side. There's rural India, and then the left-hand side is urban India, and how diets have diversified at state level over time. So the darker states are the ones which have probably the most highest dietary diversity. And beyond this, as I said, we do some cluster analysis of diets. And so on the poster number 29, you'll be able to see the 5 typical types of diets in India and what they may be. So come to poster number 29.
Good morning. This is research funded by the Drivers of Food Choice scheme, and we are looking at different supply and demand side drivers of animal source food consumption and ultimately of nutrition in poor households. So we are looking at things as price elasticity, food safety, perceived versus objective quality of retailers. And for one of these factors, we have designed a very nice economic game that looks at bargaining power of spouses and how they allocate their resources to animal source foods. So my colleague Anne, who is around, has piloted it. So if you are interested, you can come and talk to us. But also, we are starting on main data collection in a few weeks. So if you have an interest and relevant experience that you want to share with us, come to number 30, and we'll be very grateful to have your inputs and your views. Thanks.
Hi everyone. What can we learn from the black box about agriculture and rural livelihoods? We have followed 40 rural, male and female rural household farmers in Gadwal districts here in Telangana state for 4 weeks across the agriculture seasons like land preparation, sowing, intercultivation and harvesting to answer the simple questions like can the technology embedded in the wearable devices like Fitbits or smartwatch can be used to measure better access the nutritional requirement of farm households. Answer is yes. We are using accelerometry devices data triangulated with time use and food intake. We are able to measure the reliable data reliable for rural households. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Satya Mahanti and representing DICAR, Development Canada. Basically, the study that we have done to inform the design of the Rani project, we basically tried to examine the barriers and facilitators to consumption of iron tablets in this formative research. The various intervening factors that we have identified are displayed actually on the screen. Especially at the individual level, the study recognized the need to increase anemia risk perception, address myths about big baby, and create IFA reminders. Similarly, at the interpersonal level, creating awareness on women's preventive health and including husbands and mother-in-laws in the intervention were felt. At the community level, the study identified the need of publicly displaying the IFA use among women and knowing the new iron supplementation guideline that government has developed. So that is very important. Lastly, at the policy level, the study felt that the frontline health workers should be paid incentives for iron supplementation. Thank you. My poster number is 33.
So good morning, everyone. I'm Professor Sarjan, representing Hyderabad Veterinary University here. So this is the work, what I would like to emphasize is the livestock is the major source of animal source of food, mainly protein, which really combats malnutrition and hunger. But this is the era of automation, so we always try to use automation wherein it can improve the quality of the livestock produce. This is the research work done locally by our university. I welcome you to my university. It's very near, hardly 10 minutes or 15 minutes of journey here. You come to your university and see our wonderful livestock. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everybody. So this study is part of a project looking at milk safety in informal milk trading in peri-urban Nairobi. What we did as part of this study, we looked at gender barriers and opportunities in milk trading. And we realized that there are 3 main factors affecting the lucrativeness of milk trading: the prices you purchase milk at, the volumes you're selling, and also how many times you receive spoiled milk. And we realized that women and young men source milk mostly from brokers rather than farmers for a number of reasons. And this means that they receive a low volume of milk, they often receive spoiled milk, and they pay milk pretty high price when they purchase it, which then means that women generally find the milk business not very lucrative, and young men, on the other hand, can then move and become older men, and things are pretty different for them. If you want to hear more, poster 35.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm Elizabeth from the University of Sydney, and I work as part of the maternal and child nutrition team. And together with ICDDRB, we have a clinical trial in northern Bangladesh, which is called the Shonjibon Cash and Counselling Trial. This is a longitudinal cluster RCT where we will recruit 3,500 women who will participate in the intervention across 2 years. This intervention aims to reduce stunting by using nutrition behaviour change communication delivered on a mobile platform and an unconditional cash transfer. My research is focused on the impact of the Shonjibon trial on women's empowerment. And as we all know, women's empowerment is difficult to define, it's difficult to measure, and it's very complex. Here's a hint on how we will do it. But we will use specifically tailored tools. So poster 36, come and have a chat, Also happy to talk about the Cricket World Cup.
Good morning. My poster, Improving Dietary Quality of Complementary Foods for Infants and Young Children, using locally available biodiverse foods in southern Benin, presents the results of work package 4 of the Food Africa project that ran from 2012 till 2018 in 6 different African countries. During a very intensive diagnostic phase, we documented all available local foods, wild, cultivated, plants, animals, and we surveyed over 1,200 households in the plenty as well as in the lean season regarding agricultural practices, dietary patterns, gender, and so on. Then, during the optimization phase, we optimized 20 recipes and we developed culturally sensitive messages and that resulted in a lot of communication tools. And finally, we also trained extension workers and we compared videos versus traditional ways of doing nutrition education. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody, and I'm Padmaja from ICRISAT, and today my poster is on improving nutrition through diversity and farm diversity. Here I would like to present the approach that ICRISAT has taken, and which is called the smart food approach. Now this approach actually says any food is smart, so any food qualifies to be smart as long as it is good for you and me, it's good for the farmer, and it's good for the planet. And we have several case studies from which we draw insights on how this approach, which is a demand pull approach, not the supply push approach, along with the supply pull approach, which tells you actually how we can bring about a change in consumer behavior, how we can have linkages with the urban and the rural sector and bring in equity concerns, not just from a gender perspective, but then from a class, caste, and even an age perspective. So please come and visit our stall, the ICRISAT stall, and we can share insights from there.
So hello everyone, a very good morning. I'm Suchitra from Ekjut, and Ekjut means togetherness in multiple Indian languages. So I am presenting here on behalf of my Upavan family. Upavan is the acronym for Upscaling Participatory Action Videos for Agriculture and Nutrition. And this is a 4-arm cluster randomized control trial, and it's compared 3 variants of intervention, that is agriculture, agriculture and nutrition, and participatory learning and action meetings interventions to test the effect of these interventions on improving maternal and child nutritional outcomes during the first 1,000 days of life. So this slide is a glimpse of our poster. To view the full poster and know more about it, please join us on poster counter number 40. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Okay, quick pop quiz. How many parents does it take to make a child? Two, yeah. How many parents does it take to give good diets to a child? I'll give you a hint, it's not just the mom. Hi all, I'm Ramya from Purdue University. I'm here to present on behalf of our team from Harvard, PCI, and Purdue on FX trial, which stands for Engaging Fathers for Effective Nutrition and Nurturing Care in Mara, Tanzania. And I'm presenting results from formative research and baseline evaluation. You can't really see, but you should come to the poster and see it. Look at the pathways. We identify social and structural pathways from that affect women and men's daily routine that ultimately leads to really terrible nutrition practices. A lot of this is mediated through time burden, and I'll talk a little bit about that when you meet me at the poster. So I'll leave you with this quote from a mother on breastfeeding perception. Men don't know that, they just know you have a chest and you have milk all the time. They don't know what you need to eat.
Hello guys, I'm Kadir, and our study was to assess whether the Campylobacter is influencing the linear growth of the children, and this is the baseline of the formative study. What we did was we assessed the prevalence of Campylobacter among children. It is as high as 59% of the children have Campylobacter infection, and what we tried is, as this is a formative, we assessed and we removed chickens from the open into the coop, and we try to how that improve the environment of the area. We did that one. The next one is to assess whether the containing of the chicken in coop can improve the linear growth or not. Will be our study, our next program, so that we will have next RCT study following this formative. Thank you very much. If you like, you can come to 42.
So I'm William Masters from Tufts University. Poster 44 is work of the Nutrition Innovation Lab with a large number of co-authors collecting a whole range of data that we're looking at using statistical tools from economics. The first author of this paper is Sonia Zaharia, originally in financial economics, tools of resilience to think about what factors help people recover after adversity. And we're using statistical tools that allow us to take initial changes along the x-axis you see there, people who've initially declined, and asking what helps them recover after that decline. So in the first period, they would have a negative experience, perhaps an illness, a climate shock, and might help them improve. And on the right-hand side, what you see is our actual estimates, in this case, diet diversity in Bangladesh. We're doing this with a lot of different Nepal and Bangladesh, we're doing a lot of different outcomes, and our question is, what helps make that line steeper and higher, indicating resilience? So come see me, happy to talk about this at poster 44.
Hello, I'm Lila Cardell. I'm a PhD student in applied economics at the University of Illinois. My project is on spillover effects from livestock ownership in rural Zambia, based on a heifer international project that distributed 3 types of livestock. As meat and milk are perishable, I wondered what households would do if they had excess meat or milk beyond what they wanted to consume. Would they share it with their friends? Would they share it with neighbors or other people in the program, or would they sell it? So I used measures of spatial and social connectedness, as well as the staggered rollout of the program to measure these spillovers. And what I found is that households would share with future program recipients, either as a means of inequality aversion if they thought the other households, they wanted to compensate them for not yet having animals, or as a form of consumption smoothing if they thought that the future recipients might share meat or milk with them. Again, I'm Lila Cardell, and please come see me at poster number 45.
Hello, I'm Julia. I'm a research fellow through the Amana scheme. And my work's been taking place in central Tanzania, where I've been developing and evaluating picture-based record charts as an approach to collect household-level dietary diversity data directly from study participants. So we know that information about food access and food consumption can be really valuable within nutrition-sensitive agriculture projects, but we also know that it's quite intensive in terms of resources to conduct these dietary assessments. So we've been using these charts for 1 recording day each month over the last 8 months. And we see this could be a way of evaluating fluctuations in food security over time, or changes in terms of response to interventions within study communities. So my poster reports on the validation of this study through a baseline exercise, but if you come to speak to me at number 46, I can also talk to you about our ongoing data that we've been collecting. Thanks.
Very good morning to one and all. I'm Kritika from NIN. I'm a PhD student there, and this is a part of my project where we looked into the entry points of homestead food production. So with the growing urbanization and the demands from the markets, there is a growing challenge to increase the access to nutrient-dense diets among population, especially children in developing countries. So the positive impacts by homestead food production like interventions is well known to the group. And we also found similar studies, and there were some interesting findings, and we tried to add to the evidence by mapping the entry points of homestead food production in increasing the access to nutrient-dense diets. So if you want to discuss, or if you have your thoughts, we would love to hear more about it. Please visit me at poster number 47, and I would be there. Thank you.
shoot. Okay, good morning. I'm presenting these results from the team that you see below, and particularly for my PhD student. Have you ever sort of wondered, whether you can measure dietary diversity prospectively and objectively without direct observation? And you might want to do that because you're interested in behavior change and are worried about misreporting, or you might want to do it because you've got a group that doesn't recall, such as young children or school-age children. So that's where this study, so if you're interested in that, then this poster will be of interest to you. And do wearable cameras work for assessing dietary diversity of women and children in rural Uganda? In this study, we measured the dietary diversity of 162 women and young children using the wearable camera and compared it to weighed records. And this just shows you the wearable camera.
Hello, everyone. I apologize for my sore throat. It's that day for me. So I'm going to talk about food safety. And when I say food safety, I'm talking about aflatoxin contamination. And we want to know, when I say aflatoxin contamination, it's important because you cannot see it, smell it, or taste it. So we did ask the farmers, the consumers, and the traders in the supply chain to see if they're willing to pay more, if they knew about the aflatoxin problems, and we find that the farmers are willing to pay more for aflatoxin-safe technology, and the consumers are willing to pay more for aflatoxin-free grains, but the traders are not willing to pay so much. So if you want to know more with this voice, I can tell you more at my poster. Thanks.
Hello, everyone. So we've all heard of the notion that when you empower women, this could positively influence maternal and child nutrition outcomes. This may be through improved dietary choices, increasing time that they spend with their children to take care of them, and also increasing access to health services. So to test this hypothesis, we conducted a cross-sectional survey among 210 women in eastern Uganda using tools such as the Weigh Index, 15-hour direct observations, and anthropometrics. Our results were quite interesting and surprising. My poster is very small intentionally because I want you to come to poster 50 so we can talk more. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to all our presenters. Another round of applause for them, please. Okay, so you've heard them all now, and there are 2 more viewing sessions. So during the next 2 coffee breaks, the morning one and the afternoon one, please visit their posters and please have a chat with them. And the poster awards go live tomorrow, and there are 2 categories you see on the screen above. So if you've been listening, paying attention, you'll see who you judge to be the best mini poster and presenter, who made the most efficient use of that 1 minute they had and gave the most engaging presentation, and also the best poster out there. So please vote tomorrow when it goes live. Thank you very much.